Good evening, and welcome to Neutral News, the program that looks at the world and says, well, that's a thing. Tonight, we eschew war, politics, and economic collapse for a subject far closer to home and, frankly, far more baffling. We are diving deep into the uniquely British psychological assault course known as popping to the shops. But Susan, the ordeal begins before one even enters the building, does it not? We refer, of course, to the car park.
Indeed, Neil. The supermarket car park is a gladiatorial arena where the prize is a parking bay not located in a different postcode to the entrance. Our observers have noted complex territorial disputes over parent and child spaces, often involving individuals whose only child is a pampered West Highland Terrier. This is followed by the Trolley retrieval quest, a challenge requiring a £1 coin, a currency many Britons haven't physically seen since 2018, leading to awkward pat-downs of their own pockets in a desperate search for the fabled shrapnel.
A truly Sisyphean task. Once this Herculean feat is accomplished, the shopper faces their first critical decision. The basket, a tool of optimistic restraint, or the trolley, an admission of fiscal defeat before the battle has even begun.
The choice carries immense psychological weight, Neil. Opting for a basket and then finding it overflowing is a public mark of poor planning, requiring one to carry a teetering ziggurat of groceries while trying to maintain an air of dignity. Conversely, pushing an almost empty trolley feels like a public declaration of loneliness. Furthermore, our analysis indicates that approximately 87% of all trolleys are issued with one deliberately misaligned wheel, ensuring the shopper travels in a series of frustrating, uncontrollable arcs, as if navigating by celestial bodies they cannot see.
It's a miracle anyone makes it to the produce section. This brings us to a specific and often tragic subspecies of shopper, the lone male. Susan.
Sent on a mission for a single, clearly defined item, say a pint of milk or a bag of quinoa, he enters the supermarket with the misplaced confidence of a man who thinks he knows how to fold a fitted sheet. Within minutes, however, his navigational certainty evaporates. We have observed subjects spending upwards of 20 minutes pacing the same 3 aisles, their expression shifting from determination to a quiet existential dread, usually reserved for flat-packed furniture assembly.
But their journey is invariably hampered by a key feature of the modern store, the central aisle, a place where logic goes to die.
We've termed this the impulse corridor, Neil, a chaotic bazaar of skiing equipment, inflatable flamingos, and heavily discounted power tools positioned strategically between the milk and the bread. It's a carefully engineered zone designed to make you question your life choices. You went in for eggs, but you are now seriously contemplating the purchase of a 3-in-1 fondue set and a solar-powered badger deterrent. It preys on the shopper's weakened, disoriented state.
And so, distracted and lost, the shopper inevitably fails. They cannot locate their prize. What is the protocol, then?
This triggers a complex internal battle, Neil. The British aversion to making a fuss wars with the pressing need for paprika. The subject will first undertake what we call the second sweep, a more frantic, less logical retread of their previous path, on the off chance the paprika has spontaneously teleported from the spice aisle to the freezer section.
Only after total emotional and physical collapse will they approach a member of staff, a process accompanied by a level of apology usually associated with accidentally starting a small war.
I'm so terribly sorry to bother you. A moment of profound vulnerability. But before they can even reach the checkout, there is one final social hazard: the queue.
Correct, Neil. The checkout queue is a masterclass in silent, passive-aggressive line-keeping. But it is here the shopper is most vulnerable to the ultimate social horror, spotting a vague acquaintance from 2 aisles away. This initiates the aisle-dodging protocol, a frantic maneuver where the subject will suddenly appear deeply fascinated by a display of cat litter or turnip polish. Anything to avoid a 2-minute conversation about the weather and their recent holiday.
Having survived that ordeal, they face the final boss, the self-service checkout. A technological marvel designed to combine the efficiency of a robot with the passive-aggressive judgment of a human librarian.
It promises a swift, frictionless exit, but in reality, it's a high-stakes game of guess the barcode's mood. The machine's core function seems to be identifying an unexpected item in the bagging area, which, more often than not, is the ghost of your own will to live. It's a classic juxtaposition, Neil, the dream of futuristic simplicity versus the reality of repeatedly shouting, "I have bagged the item," at an inanimate object.
Of course, some shoppers attempt to avoid all this by choosing their timing with strategic precision. I'm referring to the 4 a.m. shopping trip.
They are the pioneers of asynchronous living, Neil. A strange mix of night shift workers, chronic insomniacs, or people who have simply given up on the concept of a civilized shopping hour. They wander in the brightly lit aisles in a state of dreamlike calm, creating a strange, silent disco of mutual avoidance. The experience is more about commerce than a profound shared desire not to have to speak to anyone before sunrise. It's the closest modern Britain gets to a silent monastic retreat, only with more discounted yogurts.
A beautiful, bleak expression of the national character. And so, having navigated the car park, the trolley, the aisles of temptation, the social anxiety, and the robotic judgment, the shopper finally leaves the establishment. With the paprika.
Almost never with the paprika, Neil. They will, however, leave with a packet of novelty-shaped pasta they didn't need, a scented candle that smells vaguely of disappointment, 3 tins of artichoke hearts, and a profound sense of failure. The original object of the quest is forgotten, replaced by a bag of expensive distractions. This isn't a bug in the system, it's the entire business model.
So, to summarize, the British shopping experience is a solo expedition into a hostile environment, beginning with a vehicular battle, followed by a series of poor choices and social terrors, culminating in a humbling cry for help and the ultimate failure to acquire the one thing you actually needed. It is, in its own way, a perfect metaphor for life. Good night.